Hopefully it doesn't wig out like it did for the thank you stream. No, this one seems to be fine. I don't know what's going on, man. It's being so weird. Oh no, where did my... Oh, well, that's problematic, actually. Uh-oh. Give me 1 second. Oh no. Oh no. I really do need my... Give me 1 second, y'all. Sorry. I made a mistake somehow. And... Screen's correct. All that stuff is fine. But my phone is missing, which I do use to monitor the stream as well. So just give me 1 sec. Okay, crisis averted. I realized that probably wasn't very loud, but... Okay, better. Crisis averted. Whew. Okay, let's make sure that the stream's up and running properly. Boop, 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 boop. Here we go. We're good to go on YouTube, which means it is now time to boot up Twitch. Boop. Also, just want to say sorry about the thank you stream on Twitch. I don't know what was going on because all of my internet was 100% fine the entire day. And then literally the second I hit go live, everything started wigging out. And I was like, oh, what's this about? And according to YouTube, like I wasn't broadcasting, but I was watching the YouTube stream. So I knew that I was broadcasting. However, Twitch had some issues there, and the stream actually died a couple times. It came back, but it died a couple times. So I apologize for that. I don't know what that was all about. It did eventually even out, but it was really, really weird. So how's Twitch looking? Twitch is looking pretty darn good. We are good to go. All right, cool. Hello, everyone. Let's see, housekeeping things to do to catch you guys up on. The thank you stream was on Friday. It involved less people than I thought it was going to, but it was at the weird time. Usually I do them on Sundays. But this Sunday, yesterday, I knew I would be, I was going to say wasted, but not in like an alcohol way. Absolutely wasted from doing, well, because I did the stream, that also didn't help. But Saturday was my D&D campaign, and we're kind of like our time scale is probably pretty close to like the Nordic LARP section of the hexagon of cultures of play, because we only meet once a month, so we go pretty much all day. And we had 2 guest players who never even got to play because my players won't like advance anything. We actually expanded time instead of compressing it. They role played for like 8 hours, 6 hours of in-game time. I was like, oh my god. But that is how my players be doing it. And then a bunch of people stayed over, and I ended up playing a whole bunch of stuff. I actually did get to play. This is not, I guess technically it is DM Roundtable related, just D&D related in general. I got to play the tutorial mission in Tenera's Adventures with some folks over the weekend, and it has, listen, we did not follow the rules for when you play the game. You're not supposed to choose your own character when you start the game. You're supposed to let your choices of roleplay determine like what class you should be playing, but we all just did whatever we wanted. And we picked a character who can switch roles, and I was playing a commander, which is someone who has like a pet, and neither of those classes are supposed to be for beginners, or definitely not first time players. So it took some getting used to, but like gameplay wise, it's I wouldn't say it's intuitive, but it's easy to understand once you see someone do it once. And now that I've actually sat down and played it, I can tell you that if you enjoyed 4E D&D, you enjoyed 4E, specifically playing it in person, you will really enjoy Arena the Contest and Tenera's Adventures. I think they'll be super easy for you to understand. And there's tons of mechanics in it that are very D&D based, or war games in general. They just have different names, but it's the same thing. And I'm happy that I finally got to play that, considering I unboxed it for 8 hours. 8 hours of unboxing. It was worth it to finally play. We only did PvE, but there's like 3 or 4 different PvP modes. We didn't get to try any of those, but you can reuse all your stuff. What's up, Bewaz? You can reuse all the stuff for Arena and Tenera's Adventures for D&D, which is honestly why I decided to go all in on it. And then we used a bunch of that terrain. Jack DT helped. Well, I helped. He started to play Combat Patrol, which is one of the game types in 40K. We got to learn that, and we got to use D&D terrain for it. Because, listen, all terrain is the same, okay? Okay, like, you don't need to buy specifically 40K terrain to play 40K. You don't need to buy specifically D&D terrain to play D&D. Use what you got, y'all. So, yeah, as we learn more and more about 40K and what have you, expect there to be some videos at some point. I would like to film it, and I sort of have a pretty good idea of how to set up a multicam area. You just need someone to man the cameras, which is the problem. I can't really play and man the cameras. It would be very, very awkward, if that makes sense. Not that I can't do it cardio-wise. I can run around my table, as we saw, because I ran around for 8 hours opening Arena. What? Yo! I wish I took more pictures. But, like, Jack TT has only recently started painting miniatures, but he is so freaking good at it. Like, this is his calling, and I'm sad that he's only finding it now. And it's kind of like me in D&D. Like, I got into D&D so late, but I didn't, not that it's my calling. I wouldn't say I'm, like, fantastic at it. But I'm a pretty solid DM, I'd like to think. But like the freedom it gives me to play a game with like ever-changing rules is something that I needed and didn't know I needed until I started doing it. It was something that was missing. So I feel like 40K, I feel like wargaming in general, like the thing as a whole, is something that Jack DT was missing and didn't know it. I am so envious of any of you people out there, like AWAS, that have artistic talent. I have negative artistic talent. I can't. I cannot do it. It's just not for me. I wish it was. I have ideas, but I cannot bring them to fruition. Yes, I want to know many things. Also, you bring up a good point. I'm going to make sure Nightbot's... Well, I know Nightbot's in Twitch because he posts his little ad thing. Let me make sure Nightbot... No, not... well, yeah, any command works. Just out of reflex, I did the buy. No! I mean... It's just a paper. You could draw one. It'll still be an art degree. It just won't be an accredited one. I think I just heard the double bloops of Nightbot posting. Yes, Nightbot is very slow. Not as slow on Twitch as he is on YouTube. I'll give him that. Oh. My two siblings are much older than me. I don't really have that fun sibling vibe. Though I do see my oldest sister all the time. All the time. It's just not for me. Oh. Did you... I'm going to assume you did something animal related. That's going to be my guess. I mean, I guess you could end up working on a ranch and what have you with other fields of study. I just feel like most of those people are super specialized. That doesn't. There's a pet groomer, sort of by me. It's like 20 minutes away. But the business name is Pet Pleasers, and like I can't. I get it. It could be cute, but that name is just, it's too much. Oh. I'm sorry. I mean, I feel like everyone has this same feeling where like, oh, if you changed one or two decisions in the past, you'd be on like a totally different path. That's sort of how I feel. Is that a car or an airplane? What the hell? I just heard a whoom. Oh. Okay, that really sucks. I'm sorry. I mean, you could always go back. It's weird. For a long time, my mom never finished college because her mom was sick. And when I was little, she would be like, oh, you know, I could always go back. It doesn't matter how old you are. And when I was little, I was like, I don't get it. But as an adult, I'm like, oh yeah, you could just go back if you want to. But what are you gonna learn? Like, also, if it makes you feel any better, I have a degree I'm probably never going to use. I have an Asian studies degree. I was supposed to go teach English in Japan and move there, but I did not. Obviously, I'm here. Ooh, yeah. ADHD will absolutely demolish your short-term memory. Huh. It's like weak little dementia. Oh, cute. It's not cute. It sucks. I can relate. Everybody's late today. I was also late. I was very late on getting the setup going. I'll be around. I have to do dailies in Rivals. I haven't played in... I didn't play all weekend. My stupid list is probably full. I still haven't cleaned up the house though. We had D&D on Saturday, and then a bunch of people stayed over, and then we played games, and then I stayed up till 3 a.m. learning Combat Patrol, which is actually, I thought Combat Patrol was going to be smaller than Kill Team, and apparently it is not, which is very confusing to me. What's up?
Oh. What's going on? What's going on, stream? Sorry for being late.
It's all gravy.
Also, am I coming in clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
You got a new setup? Hmm? Ooh,
No, just always tweaking. Just always tweaking stuff.
I feel that. I mean, I want to give you Fujin and Raijin, but I know they're not food dogs, but they are guardians, technically.
I mean, that sounds legendarily powerful, and I like the sound of it.
You could go with Inujin or Inushin. That's literally just dog god. Or dog truth, whatever you want. Depends on what character you put in there. Yeah, we started with a little depression here.
I use the character for truth. Somebody asked me that once. They're like, which character do you use if you were writing Shin? And I was like, one for truth. Like, okay, good. Good.
When I was in college, I let the Japanese kids shave kanji into my beard. And I got in an argument with one of them at one point because she was like, well, you should be Kagero because that's the characters you're using. And I was like, but I don't want to be. I want to just read them the way that they are by themselves. And she was like, but they're together. And I was like, but I want to read them separately. She was like, but they're together. And I was like, there's an underscore in there now.
He put the underscore just to spite. Like, he'll never win this argument again.
I don't want to be Kagero. I know, but I don't wanna.
It's like, I made this decision myself.
Not that Kagero isn't a cool name, but I'd have to do a lot more rebranding, and I'm lazy.
No. We don't need that.
So, are you excited today to look at some Wizard Council banned spells, but they're also the Warlock permissible spells?
I mean, I am prepared to zip, zoop, zap, and destroy things with magical fervor.
Okay. There's also the first this first one, the Wizards Council banned list. I'm not worried about DM Lacara missing. DM Lacara did say that she'll be late today. I want her to be here for the last supplement we're gonna look at, which is another set of spells from VenturePress. I think we've looked at something from Venture, like a group of
Yeah.
spells from VenturePress, like every spells. And I was like, ooh. At first I was like, I don't get these. And then I was like, actually, this opens up a lot of like interpretation that in my campaign specifically, the last thing that we're going to look at, I have done things like this already, and I was like, this moving it to this step never occurred to me until I looked at this, and I was like, oh, I could do that too.
Mm.
I never thought of it. And it's I had already made like the thumbnail and the stuff for this video, obviously last week because I had it all ready to go. You have the Chinese. I didn't even. I say this all the time to my grandkids, which are all the Chinese folks that I went to school with. That like, I didn't even bother to put the IME for the opinion input back on my computer when I got my new one. And sometimes people like talk to me, and I'm like, no, it's too much work to install another IME. No, thank you. That's too. See, but, hear me out. Those are traditional characters, and people who speak Mandarin are lazy. So, if you find the simplified characters, I bet it's way less strokes. I think it's so funny. This is a linguistics thing, I guess. It's not necessarily related to D&D, but I guess you could take it as like uh Aquan, Ignin, Orin, I forget what the Earth one is, whatever, but
Terran.
like Terran coming off of Primordial, where like they just make it simpler. Um, uh, there's traditional ways to write Chinese characters, and actual Chinese folks do not use traditional characters in most situations, but the folks in Taiwan and they're also trying. I know, but the folks in Taiwan were like, "Yo, why are we doing this?" And they use simplified, and then, but Japan, sorry, they use traditional. Japan uses traditional. Everyone around China is like, "Yo, you made such good stuff," and the actual Chinese people are like, "Yeah, but it's so much work. Why would I want to do all that work all the time?" And I'm like, "Yo, I feel you. I feel y'all. I don't want to learn all these strokes."
You're gonna learn these strokes and you're gonna like it, damn it.
Oh man, come on, man. Speaking of strokes, I did get to have sex with 2 of my players over the weekend in game. It was nice. That's the last thing I'll say about that. It wasn't all at the same time though, unfortunately. That would have been even funnier.
But that's a good. That's a good. Ooh. You can't leave me on a cliffhanger. Come on now.
Our barbarian 1v1'd an actual canonical character. Tashlin Yafira, who's one of the Doom Raiders and one of the captains of the guard in Waterdeep.
Oh yeah,
Also a
I am
member of the
aware.
Zentarum.
Yep.
And
I have a character that has dealings with her because he accidentally made her a gun.
ah,
And she was impressed.
even though our barbarian lost his 1v1 because she's a CR9 creature and she has 23 d8 health, which I rolled at the table to the absolute horror of everyone sitting at the table. Um,
Mm.
after I stopped the second time to reload the dice because I ran out of D8s, they were like, no. And Jinakechi and Dex came to visit, so they were sitting there. And when I went to reload the third set of dice, Jinakechi looks up and goes, "Ha! I'm in danger!" and looked right at our barbarian player.
It's good to know that they looked death right in the face, and death looked them right back in the face, and was just like, "Please."
And then after he got knocked out, he left an impression on her, so he got to go back there later that night, and they had some fun. But our barbarians player was like, "Am I just not supposed to win? I feel like you gave me a fight I couldn't win." And I was like, "I told you out of game. She's a CR9 creature. You are level 8. There is one of you." However, he did get her down to half health.
Wow.
Finally learning how his abilities work because I had to read them out
Holy
loud
crap.
to the group. And now he
And now he
understands.
understands?
Somewhat.
Does he know he can do things now?
He does. He knows he could. He is now fully aware of the difference between him throwing ghosts at his teammates to save them, and him toughening up with what is it? Stone's endurance, I think it is, when you're a Goliath, something like that. So he can always throw ghosts on people. He was like, "Wait a minute, I can use this." He's had this ability since level 3, which was like 2.5 years ago. And he's like, wait a minute. Every turn I get to do this? And I was like, I get my reaction back every turn. Yes.
Welcome to your character sheet. Reading is hard.
Okay. This supplement obviously is one of the ones from Grimbo, and it has a spell in here that he constantly references. So I feel like I am being nice to him, and now I must take it away from him because he was like, "Yo, I want to be an empowered." And I was like, "Oh, the first thing that we ever did on DM Roundtable when all 5 of the original DMs were assembled like Voltron? Hell yeah!" And he was like, "Yeah, I want to be that class that you don't like." And I was like, "The super soldier?" And he was like, "No, the idol." And I was like, "I don't mind the idol. The idol is in the repository. It's just rules as written, it makes no sense. You have to flavor it somehow."
Yeah.
And he was like, "All right, cool. And he starts telling me about all the abilities he wants his character to have, and then like the superpowers that he should get because superpowers should be a thing that empowereds have. And I'm like, that is a thing they have. They literally have a feature called Astounding Powers. That's like their whole shtick. They get superpowers because they're superheroes." And he goes,
didn't read a single bit of it, did he?
"Nope." He legitimately said to me, this was not typed, this was said to me on the phone, "I have to read the supplement?"
Woo!
Bruh.
That's he I love Grimbo. I do love Grim. I love me some Grimbo, but that one
that hurts.
That hurts something real bad. Folks, if your player ever looks at you and goes, "You want me to read?" I think you need to have that long conversation with yourself and ask yourself, should I kill this player? Would it not be faster to end his existence? My money is on yes, personally. My money's on just kill the player. Dirty your hands.
Sometimes.
Drop a mimic on them. A building. A mimic building.
Yes. Baba Yaga Hut just stomps on them.
Yeah, just.
Or, I think
General
somebody shared
consideration.
it in the Discord. Baba Yaga, which is a mobile home with chicken feet. The house. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. I love it. And the caption's like, you guys come upon the home of Baba Yaga. And the players are like, you mean Baba Yaga? And he goes, I said what I said.
Good old Baba Yaga. He get there. Hey, now come on, welcome down to my ship. Oh God, Baba Yaga.
But I think we should start with the Wizard Council banned spells list. Yeah, it has to be banjo music.
Oh, 100% deliverance.
Yes. Yes. And for that, I think with these spells, we're going to need something a little sillier. So, I think we're going to have
I'm
to
gonna need a
switch
link.
over to some a little bit of family jewels over here. But if you would like to follow along with us and you're on YouTube, you can drop the description below, click the links, follow along with us, and check this out for yourselves. Oh wait, no, let me not give you a Lightbox link because it's just gonna be that one page and it's gonna piss everybody off. I've done it many times. Don't worry. If you're on YouTube, you can click that link in the description. If you're on Twitch, I'm gonna pop this link in and pin it for the next 30 minutes.
10 out of 10 with the picture.
Right, right. There is also a link to the home brewery version, which I will probably use because it's easier than me sliding through all these pictures and then trying to get Reddit to make them bigger. I'm just like,
Sorting this. Listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm not the biggest fan of what Disney does nowadays all the time. I did go yesterday with some friends to see 20th anniversary of episode 3, which was
Ooh.
really dope to see that in theaters after 20 years. Last time I saw that, I was literally in high school. So, yeah, it felt nice. But I say that to say The Sword and the Stone and the Black Cauldron are two of my favorite Disney movies.
Ooh.
Okay?
Seems like you're into a specific theme.
Arthurian legends. There is a good reason why. So, way before I got into D&D, but back when I was younger, I was always big in fantasy writing.
Hmm.
And when I was into fantasy writing, I had this long-running story idea based around like all those other animes and the comics and stuff I had read. But one of my favorite names for a sword was Avondale, which Avalon is literally the land of the kings in Arthurian legends.
Hmm.
I didn't know that as a kid. I just loved the name. It sounded pretty.
Hmm.
Fast forward, watching Fate Stay Night, you get deep into Arthurian legends and lore. You start involving yourself, and then I'm really getting into D&D and fantasy as a whole, and TTRPGs and the RPG realm. I really started to delve into it. And so whenever I get to see callbacks to one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid, which is The Sword of the Stone or Black Cauldron, those movies resonated with me. Like that Labyrinth, Jim Henson's Dark Crystal, Land Before Time, not Land Before. I mean, yes, that too. But Never Ending Story, things of that nature. Willow, even The Princess Bride for comedic purposes. You know, can't go wrong with some Princess Bride. But that kind of stuff really resonated with me. So I'm already excited seeing this right here. 2005. No, it was no more depression. I'm sorry.
No, we're only. I think you need some
Digital
Baja Blast.
You can't see it, but I'm casting Mage Hand to give you a hug and pass a tin of cookies.
I think it
Pass
does
you a
for a
tin of
lot of us.
Hate has powered me through 98%. Just genuine.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
when you're not powered by hate,
you could be powered by Baja Blast.
or the apocalypse.
True. You could be PBTA. It's true.
Spite.
It's true.
Spite is spicy.
So the first spell in here is a first level spell called Greater Baja Blast. And if you look at the comments on the Reddit post, someone's like, if this is greater, is there a lesser? And dude was like, I don't know, probably a cantrip, I guess. And that was like their legitimate response. And I was like, I mean, he's not wrong. Not
I
wrong.
mean, I just want to imagine a player running up to a goblin and hitting them with Greater Baja Blast.
Because for this, you get to spew a stream of flavorfully sweet but corrosive carbonic acid, forming a caustic pool within a 10-foot radius on the ground. Each creature that starts its turn, the pool's radius, or enters it during their turn must succeed on a wisdom save or be charmed. Additionally, on a failed save, a creature feels compelled to use its action to drink from the pool, taking 1d8 acid damage at the end of each turn. One creature drinking can drain the puddle in a minute of drinking, and 10 creatures drinking can drain the pool in 1 round. The spell ends after 1 minute or when the pool is gone. I just want to see you hit like a group of goblins, a small platoon, or a group of kobolds, and all of a sudden they just start grazing. Like it's that scene in The Lion King where all the animals are on like the edge of the water, and they're just like.
But I'm just imagining that they are just engulfing like every inch of this Baja Blast that you spit up. You spit this up. This is you've thrown.
They never say where it comes from. You could shoot it out from any hole you've got.
That may oh no. Oh. Oh yeah. I need an adult. Well, when I'm not being horrified. Greater Baja Blast. It was we were talking about the Greater Baja Blast spell, and apparently you are compelled to drink from the pool of acidic carbonation.
The joy of the sip. At the end of each of its turns, you can try to get out of it, as you can with most spells. But another creature can try to pull you away from the pool. Will you fight them? No one knows. Maybe they too will get down on all fours and sip from the delicious acid.
That's so wrong.
Like, okay, I understand Sorcerer and Warlock having this, but like the idea that Druids and Rangers, who are all about nature, just like and having a bunch of like acid fly out of their hands in the middle of the forest just seems wrong to me on some level. You know what I mean?
I want a black dragonborn ranger.
That makes sense.
Just to get fed the fuck up in the middle of a fight and just like walk up to the troll, like stand over them, hold their mouth open, and just be like, I'm a firing my laser. Baja Blast. And just fire off a Baja Blast into their enemy's mouth.
And you think it's a breath weapon? Like you can see the little bubbles of acid coming up? Because it's going to be green anyway. You're just like, there's, and you're like, oh no, the breath weapon's coming. And it's just, like he's a Pokemon, but vomit. Yes, liquid Zilla juice. Let's go.
Liquid Zilla juice.
Yes, I'm here for it. 100%.
I support liquid Zilla juice. From the makers of Power Thirst, liquid Zilla juice.
Okay, this is a very stupid spell, but like functionally, it does actually have a purpose. I feel like, I don't know if you hear me out. I understand it's concentration because it's an enchantment, but I and the idea is that you're making this wisdom, like it seems so delicious, it compels you to do something. But I feel like you shouldn't concentrate on this because the wording makes it sound like for an entire minute your mouth is open and you're just vomiting liquid Zilla juice.
Well, like you said, it's any place you can spew it from.
True.
Doesn't specify.
Like, I just feel like you should the pool out at the beginning and be done with it. The magic came from you.
But that makes it less a pool and more you become a fountain of Baja Blast.
Mmm.
You literally become a soda fountain.
Also, nowhere in here is it mentioned that it would be sticky. Like, whatever that doesn't melt is now sticky. It should make difficult terrain in that pool as well. Not that I think someone's going to bathe in it, but someone's going to bathe in it.
I don't know if bathes in it.
But that was Greater Baja Blast. I'm not sure if the spells in here are in level order. I actually think they are. Cool. So next up, we're going to move to a 4th level spell. This one's just for you, okay? Awas, this is just for you. This is 4th level conjuration, homoerotic vortex.
But you're surrounded by a maelstrom of BL manga?
Maybe.
Oh.
What's up? You've come in at the right time.
Place to come in.
Didn't see that coming.
No one did in the homoerotic vortex.
Nobody.
But think of it like a oh no, what is it called? It's not Chaos Bolt is the first version, but there's also like the Chaos there's a 3rd level version that is
Witch's Bolt.
There we go, something like that, where the depending on what color it is, it's different. That's basically what this is. I can't think of what it is, but I know that DM Bacon has it in my campaign. But I cannot think of the name of the spell.
Isn't it the one that the beholders fire, essentially? It like
yes!
That.
It's
like Ray of Enervation or something like that.
Something like that.
Wait, nothing here is thematic to the title.
I know, it's very disappointing. Well, I don't know why they didn't just go with, like, Pride Vortex, which would make more sense. Than homoerotic. Like, if you called it Pride Vortex, it would make more sense. You're hitting them with a rainbow.
There's so many other things you could have called this.
I think, since it's in the Wizards banned spell list, I think they were just like, ah! Homoeroticism, no! As if that isn't, like, the foundation of their entire civilization. Y'all know.
I am disappointed in this spell.
Oh. Would you like to read its effects?
Fine. Circle of multicolored light on a solid surface within range. Manifests as a ringed wall up to 20 feet in diameter, 20 feet high, 1 foot thick. Wall's translucent and lasts for the duration. This This had so much potential.
DM Lacara is not happy with this.
I am not. When the ring appears, I thought this was going to be something where, like, you capture a group of people inside it and everyone has to make charisma saving throws against each other.
Oh my god, that is amazing! Yeah, that would have been way better than this.
This turns this into a whole different kind of RPG. But when you name it that's what it sounds like it's going to be.
Yeah.
You never quite noticed that your dwarven friend had such beautiful beard hair. Huh. He does.
When the ring appears, each creature within its area must roll 4d8 to determine what effects the ring of light has on each creature. It is detailed in the table we'll get to. Everyone has to make a dex saving throw. On a failed save, the creature fully suffers each effect, or, half on a successful save. All effects occur simultaneously. And then you have to roll it again every time. Also, this is weird because the font sizes changed drastically.
4D, making everyone... I mean, listen, I love rolling dice. But
this is a lot of damage.
4d8 for everyone at the table to roll is crazy.
And yeah, 4 of these effects. So the first 5 all do 1d8 damage of various types: fire, acid, lightning, poison, cold. Indigo makes their attack at disadvantage and movement speed reduced. Violet. Violet's weird. They cannot see more than 20 feet away. Additional applications of the effect reduce the distance the target can see by 5 feet.
Well, now, here's my question. Does the stacking damage of... So if you got 2, 3, 4, 7, and 6, does the effects of 2 and 3 negate the effect? Since it says until they take damage, right?
Yeah, but it says specifically all effects occur simultaneously.
So would they... So now I'm really curious. Would they lose it on the same turn that they get it?
Nope.
Yeah, I think they just take
I
it.
I think the way that it's, like, rules is written, they would take all the damage and have the effect to division.
Gotcha.
Then next turn when they roll, if they get more damage, that ends.
Gotcha. On a subsequent casting and use of this and gaining this effect, it would hurt and take it away. But until then, gotcha. Okay. Huh.
Yeah. And then 8 is the special, and you get to choose which one of the effects. Does the roller choose?
Yeah, I'm like, do you choose how you want to be hurt?
I mean, I guess you would choose whatever you're resistant to or something. If you've got, like, an item that reduces damage.
Or if you've got, like, if you're one of those people with, like, 120 feet dark vision, you'd be like, oh, yeah, reduce my vision. I don't care.
Yeah. I can still see farther than any of you.
Mm-hmm. I was talking to someone who has not played D&D yet, but they would like to. And the other day they were like, I want to pick this race that gives me dark vision. And I was like, you're not even playing the game. You're already being one of those. And I know you have dark vision. Everybody has fucking dark vision, okay?
Everyone be human.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's kind of the thing you have to do. You have to be like, hey, no one has dark vision this campaign. Dark vision, the sun is too bright. It's destroyed the retina so much over the generations of people in this world that dark vision just doesn't work anymore. I'm sorry.
I'm removing it for my own sanity.
If you have dark vision, you must be evil. Though I can't say that to my players. They'd be like, well, I guess I'm evil then. I'd be like...
Foiled again.
I'd be like...
Foiled again! But will anyone be foiled by Summon Ketamine Ape? Which is a fifth level
Okay,
What?
so a ketamine ape. I got this one.
Wait, I won't even make this one fall out of a tree.
I hate. Leave me alone, Okami. Okay, you killed my monkeys one time. All right, one time you tragic slipped. For context, we were playing Magic the Gathering, and we had done a theme of inexpensive commander decks in one of the formats that we were playing called Commander. And the theme was that each card was going to cost each card in my deck was less than $1, or $1 or less, I should say. And I had found a theme of apes. And this deck, I had used a lot of like tree cards and things of that nature. And I had a card that essentially kind of retreated each time it hit him. And so he used a spell called Tragic Slip, and he just goes, I cast Tragic Slip, your monkey Harambe falls out the tree and dies again. And I was just like, you monster. You absolute monster. It was also like 1 a.m, I feel.
Yeah, probably. Delirium had for sure set in.
But if I'd had this spell, I might have been okay. I would have been able to summon a ketamine ape, a 5th level conjuration spell, which, as a part of its components, require a filter of white ketamine worth at least 500 gold.
But it doesn't say it consumes it.
No. It just says you need it. I would assume, though, you need at least enough to get an ape high on ketamine.
I do not know that dosage offhand.
I'm not going to lie, that might be a frightening amount, judging from the sheer size of a full-grown gorilla. Or You call forth a ketamine ape, which manifests in an unoccupied space that you can see within range. This corporeal form uses the ketamine ape stat block, so kindly provided to the right. The creature disappears when its hit points drop to 0 when the spell ends. Creature's an ally to you and your companions, thank God. In combat, a creature shares your initiative count, but it takes its turns immediately after yours. It obeys your verbal commands. If you don't issue any, it takes the dodge action, uses its move to avoid danger. Each turn, the ketamine ape makes a charisma saving throw against you to reject your control. If it succeeds, or if you stop concentrating, it turns on you and your allies until you kill it or banish it. And at higher levels, when you cast this spell using a 5th level spell slot, use the higher level wherever the spell's level appears in the stat block. It's a druid, sorcerer, or warlock spell. The ketamine ape, since we have to look at this beautiful creature, it's chaotic evil. It is a medium-sized beast.
What's up, evil marksman?
That kind of surprises me.
Yeah, I would think it would be large. Especially for a 5th level. I don't want to summon another humanoid. Make it bigger.
Yeah, especially a 5th level spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got armor class of 11 plus the level of the spell as natural armor.
Right.
So, I mean, 5th level, so it becomes a 16, so it's standard 16, yeah. Its hit points are 40 plus 10 for each level above 4th. So it's automatically got
50? That's not a lot for someone who can't really feel pain.
And why would it not be 50? It's a 5th level spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just makes more sense to say it's 50. And then in parentheses say plus 10 for each level above 5th. Okay. So it's very weak. It's got 130 foot movement speed.
That tracks.
Yeah. Why does he only have 30 feet climb? This dude is climbing buildings like King Kong.
Yeah. This
All
thing
right.
thinks it's King Kong.
So you know what? This thing doesn't need to worry about its 50 hit points because it's going to slap the shit out of you and then move across the map. If this thing takes the dash action, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, this thing's teleporting, basically.
It's like an anime when they get behind you. You're like, what? Huh? And then, like, the exclamation point pops up. What?
Blink dogs think this thing doesn't exist. All right. It has 18 strength, 15 dex, 16 con, 5 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 5 charisma. I can't imagine this is the smartest, most sociable creature. High on ketamine at 130 per second.
Doesn't have time to make personal relationships.
The ketamine ape comes equipped with resistances to all but psychic and bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing from non-magical weapons. So it resists everything but psychic damage and just good old-fashioned sticks. You can beat this thing with a stick, but you can't stab it with a flaming blade. Okay. Okay.
Look, having it stand still long enough for you to hit it with
Yeah,
some
good luck.
It is immune to being charmed and frightened because it's on ketamine. So just to be very clear, it's on ketamine. It has dark vision of 60. It can see in the dark for 60.
Of course it can. Everybody has dark vision.
So kids, kids do not believe this, okay?
Disclaimer, ketamine does not give you these benefits.
You will just mess your life up. This is a PSA from the Roundtable.
Yeah. Just say no.
Okay, just say no. Okay, please say no.
Watsi and drugs.
To Watsi, please, to both. It has a passive perception of 12 because once again it's high on ketamine, so it's kind of hyper aware, but not too aware. Its language is it understands the language you speak. So just imagine you're a dragonborn and you're speaking Draconic. So you've just got a Draconic ketamine ape running around here spewing out Draconic.
Curse words, just curse words.
Only curse words.
Just curse words. That's all it learned.
That's all it's ever learned. And its proficiency bonuses are equal to your own. So if you're skilled at things, this could be the most talented drug addict to ever storm the coast. It gains... Oh, go ahead. Do you have a
No. I wasn't going to say anything of substance.
It's okay.
Because he has all the substance. It's all ketamine.
You don't need more substances. We need to get this guy off. We need Narcan.
That's his weakness. Instantly defeated by Narcan.
Look, it's really hard to actually be, like, charmed or affected by anybody's spells when to you everyone's going...
Well, you'll gain a nice multi-attack. The ketamine ape makes a number of ape shit attacks equal to half the spell's level rounded down in one frenzy. So it gains more multi-attacks based on the spell level. So if you upcast this at 8, you get 4 ape shit attacks and 1 frenzy. You get 5 attacks.
He's pretty weak, but like...
He's on ketamine.
Are not strong. But like, look at the damage.
Yeah,
1d6 plus the spell's level. I mean,
he's going so fast that like he doesn't know that he's punching. He's actually hitting you with like his bicep. He's so close. He's just like
he has no idea.
Running around.
No, this actually becomes deadly. It's bludgeoning damage, but it's on average I mean, max damage it can hit at its like just base casting is 15.
That's true.
And that's at least 3 times. So that's 45 damage potentially in a turn. That's kind of scary if it hits one of your spellcasters.
Steve, no.
Oh god, it just walks up, wallop Steve.
Steve,
Yeah.
no!
And just fucks off.
Steve is like one of those shadow people. Like, just like on a
am
wall.
going to put it in the bookmarks for a creatures episode, because today's episode is spells. Though, obviously, there's a spell, the stat block here, but this is specific to this spell. Because if you found ketamine apes in the wild, oh my god.
Oh my god, like in your world, there's some like ketamine containing berry or something in a certain forest, and the apes there have just like gotten addicted to it.
Oh my
And
God,
no one walks into the forest because they see a flash. A flash comes by and then they're just laid out.
I support this more than I
terrible.
At first I was like, I think this is a dumb spell, but like fun-wise, this is actually pretty fun.
No, I support ketamine apes. I don't support people doing ketamine.
We need a sticker for that.
In a purely fictional background, this is funny.
Yeah. In real life, terrified.
I would like to keep that very clear.
Yeah.
Not
real life, terrified.
Not in support of you or anyone taking ketamine. I don't want to get a message. Hey, DM Shin, thanks to you, I'm on ketamine.
You won't be able to understand the message because it's going so fast.
I won't. It'll be going at 130 movement speed. But they get the ape shit attack, which is the 1d6 plus 4 plus your spell level, and then they get frenzy. The ketamine ape flails its arms wildly, swinging at every creature in 5 feet. Every creature in the area must make a dexterity saving throw equal to your spell save DC, or take 2d6 bludgeoning damage.
That is the same as that is the same as astral arms when you pop them. That's hilarious.
Oh my god.
Boop.
Is it really? That is hilarious.
Actually, it's less than astral arms because astral arms is 10 feet when you pop them. But still. You walk up to one in the wild, you are a monk, and you're like, Om, and your arms pop out, and this ape is like, Om, and just fists flailing everywhere.
Just starts beating you relentlessly. You're like, oh god, like what happened to you, man? I got jumped by what? An ape.
Like a giant ape? Question mark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else would I mean, man? Like how big of an ape are we talking here? Giant, man. Huge.
Yeah, gargantuan even, man. It was so big.
Took my food. Took all my rats.
It took... No, what was it? What did he say the bum took from him?
No, we lost
it's rice and beans.
Oh god, it took your rice and beans. Yes.
The girl that took his rice and beans.
I guess don't mess around in some of the ketamine ape, folks. That's really just my PSA here. I also want this to be the spell cast by the Celestial Warlock, who's just like, patron, please help, or like the Genie Warlock, who's just like, hey Genie, give me some help. He's like, try this spell. kid, and you're like, ha ha, and it's just this ape shows up with a mean drug addiction. It's just
Like,
Mickey
what
Rourke.
was that? Yeah.
It's just Mickey Rourke shows up.
Oh,
That's the ketamine ape. It's just Mickey Rourke. Oh god.
oh, that's good. For when giving yourself wild shape isn't enough, summon the ketamine ape.
Oh, can we wild shape into this? Wait, what's this?
No.
I didn't think of it.
Can you wild shape into a ketamine ape? Wait, I need to know.
I don't see CR listed.
I don't either. I might
You don't need to wild shape. You just consume the filter by mistake. You thought it was consumed, and that meant by you. Now you are the ketamine ape.
If you take this as a druid, you just instantly wild shape into a ketamine ape.
Well, actually, I mean, its HP is pretty low, which means its CR should be fairly low.
Mm-hmm.
And like his damage isn't that high either. So yeah, I think he's probably. I'm gonna say he's probably in like the CR 5 or 6 range, maybe. A first level character would get demolished, but maybe less
like
than 5 or 6.
Maybe a Circle of the Moon druid might have fun here.
I believe in the vast gifts of the white. And everyone thinks it's the moon. It's not the moon.
I can stop wild shaping anytime I want.
Yeah, I can stop wild shaping.
Just imagine being in an adventuring party. It's like, we need help. We need something stronger. Hey, druid, can you turn into something? Yeah, man, I got you. And it's just like he rumbles through his bag. It's like, what are you looking for? Secret potion? You got a scroll in there? He's like, no. And like all of a sudden, like Money for Nothing by Dire Straits starts playing. Like he pops open the cork of ketamine and just like just starts wild shaping. They're like, yo, did he just take K?
I'm crying.
And just flip out?
Legit crying. Oh, this is great.
I need that. I need that imagery in my life.
All right, summon ketamine apes going in the in the repository.
I think you need to. DM Okami, I'm gonna let you take the next
one. Okay, this one legitimately banned. There's no reason for it to exist unless you really, really hate Idaho. But this is a 7th level transmutation, a ritual. So just in case you want to cast it as a ritual, you're good. You're good. This is Transmute Idaho. You cast your power toward a location several planes away and transform the state of Idaho in any topographical manner you choose. Examples include turning all the potatoes to gold, making all the soil there fallow, turning the trees into flumps, and other such effects. All changes to Idaho end after 1 day as if they had never occurred.
This is the beginning of a great kid show.
You do need a basket of potatoes worth 5 gold. And thinking about like conversion rates, I feel like that's a lot
really
of potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So many potatoes.
Unless you're Samwise Gamgee.
Ah, true.
I read someone once wrote somewhere that I read that Samwise Gamgee is the Bubba of the Lord of the Rings series, and I almost threw my phone across the room for them to compare him to Bubba from Forrest Gump.
Huh.
Never seen it.
Wait, what? Not even Forrest Gump?
Nope.
Oh my god. Oh my god. My chest hurts.
Also kept falling from laughing.
Yes.
I also kept falling asleep during what was that other iconic movie?
Titanic, because it's so long.
No, I've never even. I don't do romance movies.
Okay.
I saw Titanic because my grandparents, and they owned the 4 VHS box set.
Oh my god.
Ooh,
Yeah, it was
original.
4 VHS tapes with the extended edition. And I was like, how do you extend a movie that's already that freaking long?
Ah, and then you saw Return of the King.
I see what you did there. But there is one more spell left in the banned wizard list. Words are gone now. My chest hurts. This is... Why is the
here's one for
text
AWAS.
is all messed up? Okay, well look at it here then. Whatever. This is, who wants to take unending penis barrage?
Shot, not it.
I guess I got this one. The unending penis barrage, a 9th level evocation. It's got a casting time of an action. It's a mile or a 40-foot spear. Jesus Christ. It's just vocal components. It looks like it's instantaneous. Large, fleshy, phallic objects plummet to the ground at 4 different points you can see within range. Each creature within a 40-foot radius spear centered on each point you choose must make a charisma saving throw. The spear spreads around corners. A creature takes 20d6 psychic damage and 20d6 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. A creature in the area of more than one traumatizing burst is affected only once. A creature who fails their saving throw is also frightened for 1 minute. The spell damages objects in the area and withers all plant life.
That's my favorite part. There's all plant life in the vicinity. Also, it doesn't say what you're frightened of. You're just frightened now because you've been crushed by an unending penis barrage.
You're just afraid for a minute. First off, they gave it to bards, sorcerers, and warlocks. This is absolutely a charisma spell. Oh, this is...
yeah, I'm busy. I'm taking it. Don't worry.
Oh, we knew it was.
Oh, that's great.
If she hadn't written, I was going to be like, guys, we have to...
Yeah, we need to do a health check. Wellness check.
Commented on this.
Unending penis. The damage is absurd, but also imagine fighting a warlock patron who's like trying to make a deal with the bard. The bard tries to get like real, like, you have someone trying to play the classic horny bard, and they against like your character, and the sorceress that he's trying to do it against is just like, no, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick and tired of this. And she just casts unending this penis barrage and just takes out your party. You have to try and seduce her, man. That's how he would have taken. That's how he would have taken out my character when I tried to seduce the Queen of Hell. Exoclub would have definitely done this.
Hear me out though. The one-liner you have to drop after you knock someone else out with this, especially if you're not like male presenting, so you have to lean over that person as they're like cratered into the earth like Yamcha. You got to look over the crater down at them and go, "Mine's bigger," and then walk away.
Only if when you miss, you yell, "It was cold!" I would never allow this.
Listening intently. I'm weaving.
I would never allow this spell on the regular. it would take a specific. It would take like specific questions, comments, and concerns going through like a very specified reason of why the hell do you need this? Why do you need this spell?
I will say, if you want to class the joint up a bit, you could just change it into Wukong's like staff. Same exact
Fair.
spell, just not a penis.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know AOI is just like, why would you do that?
Oh, you turned me into a Pokemon. I'm just wheezing now. Why would I change it? It's perfect the way it is. It's perfect.
Why are we messing with what's already good?
Oh god, that's fantastic. Oh my god. But that was the Wizards Council banned list and the Warlock permissible spell list from 2023 because that's where my bookmarks are at. 4.5 years, baby. Okay, so this one was like a little supplement with a bunch of stuff. I crunched some numbers before, and it seems like we're averaging about 15 spells an episode. So I tried to keep it around there for this one too. So this one has some spells. The next two are just solo by themselves, and then there's another supplement at the end. I like to sandwich in the little guys. So next up, we're gonna need some creepier music, because we're going to look at Soulbind. I receive power. You receive a cage of oblivion. So if you're on YouTube, you can drop the description and follow along with us. For those of you on Twitch, I'm going to throw a link in there. But I'll probably only pin it for like 15 minutes max because it's just one spell. Oh, this is actually perfect. Thank you, Bleach soundtrack. I know that I will now be sharing money with you for this video, but it's worth it. Worth it.
Never give
it. This is by, I'm going to get his name wrong again, AdramastesGM, there we go, who we've looked at their stuff a couple times before. I think both items and some creatures, but this is their Soulbind spell, which also has another little thing with like a little stat block, because now there's a little item, because once you put people's souls in the gems, you need a stat block for them gems if someone tries to break them free, but you won't let that happen now, will you?
No, I might.
I don't know why, but I feel like DM Lacara should take this one. It's just a feeling that I get.
I think that's entirely fair. Okay, levels for necromancy. It's a reaction which you take when a humanoid you can see within 60 feet of you dies. I don't think you should have to be able to see them, but okay.
You feel the breath leaving their body, you're like, ha!
I'm just picturing one of those, like, you know, like blind warlock kind of things, like,
Oh,
you know, give me power in exchange for my sight sort of thing.
I feel you, I feel you.
Oh, that's weird. So it has to die within 60 feet of you, but the range of the spell is 30 feet.
What?
How?
Do they mean you have to... Listen, if I'm this evil, ain't nobody gonna see me running to that corpse, okay? I'm more dignified than that.
Yeah. VSM, you need a gemstone worth 100 GP per hit die of the humanoid. Imagine the DM being like, ooh, sorry, no, you're one short. Spell fails.
That seems like a lot of money, potentially.
Yeah, this is something. It looks like this is basically a phylactery for someone else.
Yeah.
Like, so that's pricey. Duration is concentration special. What the hell does that mean?
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea.
Hopefully they explain it. Hopefully they explain it at the beginning, unlike most of the people who put the important parts at the end of their descriptions.
Classes: Cleric, Wizard, Warlock. As the target exhales its final breath, you reach out with dark magic, attempting to capture its fleeing soul and imprison it within the prepared gemstone. The target must succeed on a charisma saving throw, or its soul becomes trapped within the gemstone, though the spell remains incomplete. Okay, here we go. The spell fails if the target's affected by protection from evil and good, standing within a magic circle, or on hallowed ground. Okay. You must maintain concentration on the spell for a number of hours equal to the creature's total hit dice. Okay, so this is not something you do in the middle of battle.
No.
This is where somebody has been captured and brought to your lair, and you have this all set up. This makes more sense. If your concentration's broken before the required time has passed, the gemstone shatters and soul is freed. If you maintain concentration for the entire duration, the gemstone permanently becomes a soul gem, binding the soul within. While you're concentrating on the spell, if another creature attempts to cast a spell to revive the bound soul, you must make a Constitution saving throw to maintain concentration, with a DC equal to 10 plus twice the level of the spell being cast. Failed save, the soul's free. On a successful save, the reviving spell fails. While you're alive, a creature whose soul you trapped inside a soul gem cannot be revived by any spell or effect short of true resurrection, wish, or divine intervention. If you die, the soul binding weakens, allowing the creature to be restored by any spell that would normally revive it. And casting this shifts your alignment to evil.
I like the little flavor at the end. It's just like, oh, by the way, you've cast this, you're evil now.
Okay, hear me out. What if, I'm not saying you have to run it like this. It's not like the way that it's written. But what if you fail that Constitution save and somebody pulls your soul into the other body?
Oh.
That
would mess up a whole lot of things.
It would definitely change the way things go for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm thinking, because I always love playing devil's advocate.
Mm.
Okay, sure, this is cast as a necromancy spell.
Mm.
And it says that casting it shifts your alignment to evil.
Mm.
But what if you're in a world with like a bunch of like rampant evil spirits or something, and you're part of some like good aligned grave cleric like church that goes around locking up the bad guys so that they cannot be brought back?
Oh. Evil
Like
spell.
you're
Good.
Yeah, like you're sacrificing your humanity basically. Like every time you do it, you are inching closer to, falling into that void. But you're doing it because like the bad guys just keep respawning.
Well, maybe
This is
they
the
keep
only way you found.
Well, they keep respawning because part of the curse is that for you to fall, you have to fall. So a lot of times you're just facing your fallen friends and mentors.
Yeah.
Naturally, over time, you're falling just as much, and then you become the fallen, and then your own brothers go out to hunt you. That's
Yep.
part of the agreement.
Or because when that gem breaks, the creature's released, all these people who captured those spirits are being kept alive artificially, and it's slowly like driving them madder and madder.
Yeah.
Did we just describe the 40K universe? Because I feel like we did.
Well,
Probably.
also, I mean, that's basically what happens with the Heralds and the Fused in Sanderson.
Yeah.
Like, they've been alive way too long, and most of them have gone nuts.
Like, the price of immortality or longevity has literally driven them insane.
Yeah.
Which, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, they refuse to give up because the soul gems will break, and all their life's work will be for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be fun.
Oh yeah, no, I think we could make that into the.
Listen, this is a whole nother campaign setting we just made right on the spot.
Yeah.
That's why you
What
come to
else?
DM Roundtable.
Speaking of which, it's about that time.
That's true.
Oh, this is like Time Force when they met, right? I do like when the Time Force. That is a good reference.
Okay. Power Rangers wise, last night I was trying to figure out what the name for Kill Team was in 40K, and it was like 2 in the morning, and my brain was not firing, and I was like, the little group that it's supposed to be smaller than this because we were playing Combat Patrol. It's just like when you're like a one squad, and all I could think of was SPD. And I was like, it's not Power Rangers, I assure you. The Power Rangers do not get eviscerated by xenomorphs.
But wouldn't that have been quite the show if they had?
It sure would
That
have.
would be a very different show.
But we also have a stat block. Sort of, kind of, ish. Basically just tells you what the
That's
soul
an
gem
item.
is. Yeah. So, I assume you have to be able to tell that, like, something is in there. Like, if you pick, well, it says you can make your Arcana check known, but, like, you can just carry them around, and people don't know that that's what they're for, and you just hear, like, a whisper when you hold it or something. Like, they're trading these gems out to other people so that you won't know who originally made the spell. You'll have to go on like a quest to figure out who made each one, but there are people trapped in them that you want to free, and you can't really until you go and kill the person who made it.
And can we talk for a second about the fact that the presence of a soul can be identified by looking at it with jeweler's tools?
Yeah, I like that.
Wait, let me get out my totally mundane loop. Yep, there's a soul in there.
But also imagine handing this to a jeweler and being like, hey, so I found this in the woods. And he's like, oh, here, let me this. He opens it up. Jesus! The hell
like
is
a
this?
screaming face looking at him.
Yeah.
I love me some
Like,
Dragon
what's
Riders of
wrong?
Burn. Oh man. But not the Dreamcast game. Everything other than that. Though I will sit down and play the Dreamcast game at some point. But whoever made it, like the team that made the Dragon Riders of Pern game for Dreamcast, had no idea what making a game was supposed to be. So like, the game tells you absolutely nothing. You have no idea what your quests are. You have no idea what's happening in the world. You could just walk around and talk to some people from the books.
Sounds about right.
Oh, a soul gem can also be consumed as an additional material component for certain spells and rituals, enhancing their power. Examples may include Planar Ally. The gem can be traded as payment for the services. Planar Binding. The target has disadvantage on the saving throw. Create Undead. The spell acts as though cast with a higher level spell slot. Circle of Death. Humanoids killed by the spell are raised as zombies. Raise Dead. Allows the resurrection of a creature that has been dead for longer than 10 days.
Okay, the
Oh.
last one is kind of powerful, but
Yeah.
I would say that it depends on the power of the soul trapped.
Yeah.
So, like, if you've trapped like a lich's soul somehow, you can bring anyone back from the dead.
And then a particularly potent soul gem can be used as a power source for certain magical constructs. That's cool too. Like you went and captured like whatever the king of some country or something, like he's a mage king, and you have him like powering your doom robot that's destroying his country.
Basically, it seems like we just want to destroy foreign countries.
Yeah, we're good at destabilization techniques, I guess. And now we're on a list. A different list. We've been on many lists. I mean, we're also probably on a list already for Unending Penis Barrage. I'm just gonna say probably.
And the ketamine ape.
Ah, true.
Yeah. Yeah, this did you think about whether or not this episode was gonna get labeled explicit, but when you were picking the spells?
I really didn't. Unending Penis Barrage, I was like, meh. And then I was like, you know what's weird? You can say penis as many times as you want. You say anything else, and they're like, ah! But penis is usually okay.
That's
Duly noted.
life doesn't make sense.
No, it does not.
Oh.
I'm just gonna note that one for my notebook. I never thought I would need to know that tidbit of information, but now that I know it,
Like the euphemisms for penis, YouTube, like the censors don't like, which is weird. But you can say penis. I don't understand.
Probably because if they started censoring that, like every anatomy video or whatever, like actual scientifically minded video would get slapped for no good reason.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, this is scientific. We're talking about the science of D&D.
Oh, if we did a science of D&D episode.
Oh man. Oh man. Ooh, but speaking of people who do science, the next one you might want to call your husband for, because it's Cosmic Pillar, which I'm pretty sure you can guess. It's Space Laser.
For the last time, he doesn't build space lasers.
He builds Space Laser.
Okay, Shin. Okami has been sending me every time I mention my husband, even in passing. Okami sends the space laser meme to me every single time. I'm like, this isn't even what he does.
Essence of orbital laser.
So when Okami was telling me about you when before we officially met, and you're just like, oh yeah, so the Lacara's husband, he built space lasers, and I'm like, what? It's like, yeah. And he told me what you had done, and I was like, what? And I was like, holy, what? They're gonna take over the moon. I was just like, they got too much power combined.
Which is so funny because we know like 6 couples that are the exact same split of like fields of work that we are. And we all used to play D&D together.
I'm surprised none of you started a Spelljammer campaign. I'm disappointed almost.
I did not know Spelljammer was a thing until a couple of months ago. The very first thing we played was actually a one-shot inspired by Firefly. Was the thing that like one of our friends decided was like the right way to break this group in. And it so was. We enjoyed the daylights out of that thing. It was amazing.
If you ever want to try a bit harder of a TTRPG, Mothership, I suggest.
Ooh.
It is a lot harder. It is much more survival, and like mission survival style. But it is inspired very much by Aliens, Battlestar Galactica, like the entire swath of sci-fi. It's a true sci-fi game. Like even down to like the way things go off, like a grenade goes off in a room, gravity can affect it. You could affect the hull of the ship, and you can hurt your teammates with that grenade. Ooh. So it's kind of like it's all sorts of craziness.
That sounds great. I mean, we're so Yeah. Okay. Let's keep
No,
going.
no,
We
you
can just sidetrack into this for forever. That sounds good, and I will write that down.
good.
And
I was
speaking of
just-
things you should write down and sidetrack into forever, if you have not before or already done so, DM Lacara, could you please tell people what they can do to help support this channel if they've been enjoying everything that's been?
Hit the buttons, people. If you have money, hit the buttons that give Okami money. Those include but are not limited to YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, and other things that I don't know what they are or how to spell. But all of the links are in the video description. And if
Thank
you
you,
do not
Awaz.
have money, if you do not have money but wish you did, please hit the buttons to like, subscribe, share with your friends, spread us like the happy, happy disease we are. And yeah. Oh, and if you want cool stuff, go to our Redbubble.
Awaz has
Our
stuff
stuff
from our Redbubble. It looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, actually, I think all of
Yeah.
us now have stuff from it. Oh, one of us not yet. Soon.
Yikes, cackle.
Yeah, that cackle was a little scary.
Should I be concerned? Should I call for an adult?
Not yet.
There are
Maybe
no
after the
adults here.
Cosmic
This is
Pillar.
the TM
Yeah,
Roundtable.
yeah.
This is
That
true.
that too. Boop.
I
Thank
need
you.
to make some more shirts.
I love that Awaz is part of like. Thank you. Thank you for being part of the ads. Remember at the
Yeah.
beginning when you were like, "How much do you pay them to do the ad for you?" And I was like, "I don't do it."
Oh, that was great.
I don't know if I really have a thing yet, but I do have a thing for you guys for next week. I will remind
True.
folks, if you're in the channel and you're listening in, next week we're going, next Monday, we are going to be playing something on the roundtable for the first time. Actually playing something on the roundtable. We will be playing a first live run of my game that I have been working on. We will be playing Cardinal for the first time. DM Lacara and DM Okami will be two of our lovely Voyagers going through things. We will have to sit down and find a day this week to go through our little session 0. But I wanted to extend the invitation to you out there listening in. If you are interested in joining us next week to play on the episode, simply message myself or DM Okami before Wednesday
Okay. Cool.
at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll just keep it simple. If you can get back to us before Wednesday, you can message us, shoot a message on the poll, drop a comment if you listen to this tomorrow. You can shoot us a message on the Discord or drop a message in the Tabletop Schmabletop. But we are looking for more people to come join in. Before we do a little session 0, I have catered it. If it is going to be just the two, and it's going to be very fun, because if it is just the two of them, I have a very special mission that I've cooked up.
Baby.
That's going to be a fun time to see how well they survive and work together to get through. But like I said, we'd love to have more people come join. So take a look. We'll drop the links. Check out the Discord, and hopefully next week you'll be on live with us, joining us for all the fun. But if I don't want to get hit by a cosmic pillar,
Okay, so
What should we do?
this is I'm the song that I'm using for the background right now is from the Killing Floor soundtrack, and I just think it has the best title ever. But it specifically feeds into this. It may not give you the feel of being hit by an anvil of dawn, but the name of this song is Witness Prevention. And I just think it's the funniest thing ever, as the zombie horde just like swarms over you. That Witness Prevention is blasting. It's the same with the Cosmic Pillar.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to take Cosmic
Wow.
Pillar?
This thing is insanely expensive.
Yeah, but think of it. You could do 100 D10s total, maybe?
Well, it's
No, sorry, 60 D10s.
DM Lacara, do you want to tell us about a cosmic pillar?
Sure. Only available to sorcerers and wizards. This has a range of a mile, requires a gemstone worth 5,000 or more GP, and its concentration up to a minute. For the duration, you summon a pillar of brilliant light that delivers pure destruction. The light is a 1 mile high, 50-foot radius cylinder that appears at a point you can see within range and moves toward another point you can see, moving 30 feet in that direction at the start of each of your turns. Okay, 50-foot radius. That means 200. So you can fit what, 13 people in that? 13 medium-sized
damn.
creatures?
So
And it-
integration away from God, from the gods. No, from the stars.
yeah, I mean, I hate to be nitpicky. Technically, if it's a mile high, that only puts you. I mean, that doesn't even put you into commercial airliner territory.
No.
But at least some really ticked off wind gods. each
Well,
creature.
they say it's a range of them. So here's the thing that you could play. I'm going to play devil's advocate on this one. It says it's a range of a mile. I would argue that it's a mile from me. But
Well, it
that's
says
the
it is a
way-
1 mile high cylinder.
Ah, damn it! They did. You know what? You're right. That's saddening.
Right? I want this thing to be coming down from the halls of Olympus itself.
Listen,
Yeah, I would not
flavor it that
note
way.
how high the cylinder is. I would just say that a cylinder coming down from the heavens.
Yeah.
Do you know what else I would add? I don't care how far your dark vision goes, you can't see the top of this pillar.
No.
Also, you can't see. I think.
Yeah, you can't see. You're right.
If you look up, you're
You
blinded.
can't see. Yeah, you can't see in this pillar. If you have dark vision or any of the special dark visions, you are particularly blinded in this thing.
Oh, this punishes dark vision. It's
Yes! Yes!
Each creature in the cylinder makes a con saving throw, taking 10d10 radiant damage on a failed save, half on a success. A creature must also make the save when the cylinder moves into its space and when it enters the cylinder or ends its turn there. But you only have to make the save once per turn, because, yeah. Huh. Yeah, that sounds painful.
So if we remove the mile high restriction and made this the true light from the stars itself, I'm just imagining that you're a mile outside like your enemy's house, like you're just sitting there watching them. You wait for them to have like a meeting. Like you wait for the druid circle to have a meeting. And like they're getting ready to conjure all their spells and magic. And they're looking up at the stars and the moon itself. And they're like, oh, I wonder what's going on. And they're like, yes, the moon's light is intensifying. Oh, this is glorious. And then they look up and they just see you just casting Cosmic Pillar, summoning the light of the heavens down on. I could support this.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Whatever you worship or like whatever your squad symbol is, if you leave the pillar in the same spot for more than a turn, it permanently alters the ground into like having your insignia burned into it. I'm thinking like when Thor rides across the Bifrost and when it hits the ground, it makes like the Norse symbols. So you could be like your team's like this is the end game battle, and people have to know you've defeated whatever the demon prince or what have you. That pillar comes down and you just pound him with it, and from like what little parts of his flesh made their gigantic way outside of the pillar, but you've blown up his main body. Just your symbol is now stamped on his domain. This is our turf now.
That is pretty epic. I kind of like it. Especially if you're going to be burning 5,000
Yeah.
Like, if it's a gemstone worth 5,000 gold, then let me use a soul gem with a celestial soul, and let me buff this up a little bit
Oh
more.
my god.
Let me crank this up to the maximum.
That's so cool. I was
That'd be
thinking like
insane.
5,000 plus gold. Like you're probably looking for that particular gem, or you're using your jeweler's tools and what have you to make the perfect gem. So this is something like you didn't just wake up in the morning and say, I'm gonna cosmic pillar someone. You've been thinking about this for a while.
This has been a dream of
You're like
yours.
you're like an evil prophet going around smiting cities.
Yes. Yes.
That's
I just got a
hilarious.
beholder for this. Yes, you have to go on some quest to get that specific gem. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh my god, yes. Hear me out. Hear me out. Jumping off what DM Shin said. We take that whoever this good person is that was trapped in that golem in their soul gem to power it. We break down the golem, and the person in the soul gem's like, "Yes, I will finally be free." And then you're like, "I didn't say you were gonna be free." And the person in the soul
Oh.
gem's like, "Oh no!" And then you hold up that gem to the sky, and the light of smite rains down.
Oh my god. That's horrible.
This is good. This is good. I like this. Yeah. All right. So I listen, because it is a level 9 spell and like the cost is so much. I think that this is quite balanced because I've seen a lot of level 9 spells that are like I deal 75 d20 damage and I'm like I understand that this is the end of the game, but there still has to be some kind of balance.
Yeah.
I think this one is
However,
pretty okay.
I can understand also wanting to feel like you finally did it.
Hmm. Like, I'm upcasting my... Listen, teach your people some epic spells. You can go higher. You just gotta tell them something else, because Mistra doesn't like it when you cast more than level 9 spells. You're not in the Forgotten Realms. You can do whatever you want.
You can take them higher.
It's true. So, our final supplement for today is Warp Spells by VenturePress. We looked at their monk abilities a while back, and I think we did another thing by VenturePress. But these are all spells that are warped or mutated based on like what kind of blood your sorcerer's bloodline is. It changes the way your spells work. And I had never thought of doing this, but like in my campaign, I started in Lost Mines of Handelver, so we had Wave Echo Cave, and in Wave Echo Cave, you're supposed to get the Forge of Spells, and it's supposed to not work anymore. But what I did in my game is I had it be warped by the Spell Plague, and sorcerers have an easier time pumping their own energies into it to make weapons and items and stuff. So quite often, well, my two sorcerers at the beginning, when they were still hanging around Wave Echo Cave, they made a whole bunch of items based on like their sorcerer's bloodlines, and both of them happened to be Genasi, so they could also use their own actual blood to make things. And I never made the connection that VenturePress did here, where, hey, why don't your spells change if you're a sorcerer? Oh, you're a smart man. Didn't think of that. So, if you're on YouTube, you can follow along with us by clicking the link in the description. I am choking on my own spit. Ugh.
Please don't.
If you're on Twitch, I'm going to pop this in and pin it for the next 30 minutes. I will also say that um, I downloaded the PDF of this because loading it on the page is stupid. So give me 1 sec, and I will load up the PDF version.
I love this
Sometimes.
image in the center.
So all of these pictures are the alternate art cards from the Strixhaven set of Magic the Gathering, which I adore.
What is it? Urza's. That's Urza's like incantate or like Urza
Something like that.
I know this. The middle one's I think Mind's Desire.
I think
And
the
the
right
last
one
one
is Lightning
Bolt.
Bolt.
Or Electrolyze.
Wow.
Could be the Strixhaven version of Electrolyze.
I love. For those of you who are into the idea of there being magic schools and them doing stuff, that's what Strixhaven is, basically. There's also a Strixhaven supplement for D&D you can play in that setting.
And it's built on good D&D, well, better D&D.
Yeah, it's for 2014 rules.
It's built on better D&D.
This. Okay, so I'm gonna. You were correct. It is Electrolyze.
Well,
So
I really guessed at that one. I might be a bigger nerd than I realized.
Hey. Vehicle. Ooh, vehicle rule. Oh, we might get some new vehicle rules after we get in some vehicles in DM Lacara's campaign, which is going to happen very soon.
I am so excited for this week.
oh my. Oh dear.
DM Shin on Friday, the party has been talking about booking passage on a boat for like a few sessions, which is hysterical to me because they are on first name bases with like 3 goddesses that could teleport them across the tiny little strait that they need to cross. But no, they're taking a boat. So I was like, all right. So I came up with a couple of captains for them to go talk to, and I had no skin in this game. Everyone was like, "Oh, which one do you think we're supposed to go with?" And I'm like, "They're just people with boats. Pick the one you want." Like, so of course my team decides, while one of them is magically not there and could return at any moment, that 3 of each are going to book passage on one of the 2 boats, splitting the party in half, not giving any explanation for the fact that the 7th party member is going to appear in the middle of the voyage, probably, on one of the 2 boats. And they're gonna turn it into a race. So I get to retool the Mario Kart rules we just went over a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And Zip and Zap will race again.
Oh no. My buddy Zip and Zap, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this makes me so happy.
I'm so excited for it. I'm not gonna lie.
This is gonna be great.
It's gonna be so fun.
It was one of those beautiful moments when the party just like latches onto something that would normally have taken 30 seconds and turns it into something so much better.
And as a DM, I've learned to embrace those moments so wholeheartedly. I'm like, yo, let's do it.
Yeah.
You have to embrace the chaos.
Oh yeah, I was like, you want a race? Yeah, hell yeah, we're gonna have a race.
It's like none of my notes are prepared for this race, but we're fuck it, we'll do it live.
It's happening, yeah.
Oh, it's a
So
B.
good.
I thought that was Jake. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought that was Jake from Adventure Time. The emote. I like leaned in and I was like, oh, that's a B. That's a cute little bee. I thought it was Jake from Adventure Time, and I was like, why is his butt not yellow? I was just so confused. But for VenturePress's warped spells, again, this is how they're running them. You don't necessarily have to run them this way. I probably won't run them like this, but I will for sure adopt this mechanic to my campaign since I've basically already been doing it. But as a sorcerer's innate power grows, so too does their ability to mutate and manipulate their spells. So basically, a warped spell starts with a regular spell that exists in 5e, and then because of this sorcerer's bloodline, because of the way that they're using it, it becomes something more, something better that only they can do with it. So VenturePress says you can hand them out as rewards. They're saying specifically that once your spell mutates, it becomes this version of the spell forever. I don't know if I want to keep that way. I think I should. In my opinion, I think it's better if like your players do something. They have to do something great, or they have this good idea, and then it happens, and now they have the choice between which of the two to use.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be better than it permanently being changed. But I can also understand story-wise why it may permanently change. You can also make it an optional class feature so that whenever they get an ASI, instead of taking a feat, you can have them do this, or they can take the stat ups and then change one of the spells. You can also you get a new meta magic option, so you can do that, and then when you can spend a sorcery point to upgrade a current spell, which also is a super cool way to implement them. Like you're spending parts of your innate spell casting self to make this spell better. That's also pretty cool. And you can give people a feat so that they can change their spells whenever they discover the new version, which could also be like a huge part of your campaign if you're running a whole bunch of sorcerers and they have this feat, or you just have one, and they're actively going through the spells, being like, oh, I wonder what I can tweak. How can I do this? How can I do that? Very like Mushoku Tensei after Rudius gets reincarnated and he realizes there's magic in the new world. And because he came from the regular world, he's using like scientific principles that no one here has ever thought of. Like, oh, when I'm little, if I want to cast these spells, I just have to control how much of each element I'm putting into it, like what my power output is, what velocity I want to shoot it at, and that'll change my spells. So if you run your sorcerers like that, like, oh, I want to keep testing my power, I want to keep checking stuff out, you give them the spell warper feat, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to find new versions, new mutations on their spells. And then they can make them their own. So cool. Just the concept alone is so cool. I will tell you though, this first one, really lackluster. The rest of them all super cool, but the first one is lackluster. Who wants to take eat elements?
I got this. Well, if you're hungry, you might want to warp yourself and eat some elements. It is the warped version of absorb elements, replacing the spell as a reaction when you take acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. And it's a range of yourself for a 1 minute duration. You eat incoming energy, lessening its effect on storing it in your stomach for your next attack. You have resistance to the triggering damage type until you start of your next turn. Also, the first time you hit with an attack within the next minute, the target takes an extra 1d6 of the triggering type and spell ends. If the spell is cast while you have energy stored from a previous casting, you lose the benefits of the first casting. That's kind of dope. So you just kind of like, you're standing there eating elemental blasts and beating somebody else with it. I always wanted to beat somebody with their own pimp.
Right? This is basically the same thing that my spell scars do, but they don't. Annabelle doesn't actually eat the element. I just feel like compared to what you're going to get from the rest of them, which we'll see very soon, like this one is such a minute boost over what absorb elements was.
But it is a cool little boost.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting flavor boost.
I would add, because it's flavor boosted like this, that it's eat elements instead of absorb, you don't necessarily have to use this as a reaction like in combat or something, but if like you see electricity going off and you just start eating it, I think that would be cool too. Or like you walk up to a volcano and the rest of the team is horrified. They're like, "What are you doing?" And you just start chomping down on the magma.
Yo, this is some good magma, man. You want some of this?
You
This is
like
an
hold
eat
it
or
out
be
to
eaten
them.
world.
Hey, man, you want in on this?
If you go to one of the elemental planes with this on, potentially you've got a permanent power up while you're there. I mean, most of your enemies are also going to be that element, but you still carrying it around. It's delicious. It's right in the air and everything.
I mean, at least it puts you on a more level playing field.
Yeah. Next up is I'm not in the right window. Thank you. Thank you. Flaming Fists. Do you want to take this one, DM Lacara? I don't know. I feel like this one might be up your alley.
You know me so well. I looked at the picture. I'm like, oh, it's me on Monday mornings.
Oh, no.
She looks too happy. First level evocation, 1 action, range self, concentration up to a minute. As you extend your hands, a violent wreath of flames lick around you and rush forth. Each creature in a 15-foot cone must make a dex saving throw of 3d6 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much on a success. Following turns, you may repeat this effect as an action, but change the range to a 5-foot radius.
Do your
Fear?
little clap. I'm assuming they really mean you're just like you're basically doing that little tornado that the Flash does, except it's fire instead of wind.
In addition, you can use a bonus action to change the damage type from fire to cold, lightning, or poison. That makes that kind of broken for first level evocation.
I'm thinking that it should be you can choose to change it to like whatever your sorceress bloodline's ability would be.
Yeah.
That would make a lot more sense.
But still super cool that you just keep it and now you're doing like a Zangief's lariat every turn afterwards.
There's a lot of. DM Lacara did say it best. I think it definitely leans itself to becoming broken easily.
It is very strong for you cast it once, but only you'd be able to do it potentially. And
I would say if you upcast it, like you get a different damage type for each spell slot above that you use.
Oh.
Okay. I could see that.
It's like that way at least it kind of grows with you. It's like how much you willing to put into this.
Right.
Ooh. Interesting. Hadn't thought of that. I like that too.
I actually like that deal a lot.
I'm gonna give this one to you, DM Shin, because there's no way I can look at this image from the Doomblade card and not think Cardna.
Yeah.
Lord. Oh, geez. Well, you would be correct. You definitely might slice down the holies and the heavens itself, but you're gonna have to get yourself a good old reality slash, which is a alteration of the Cloud of Daggers spell, which I think is a really cool spell. and I'm glad to see it get some love. It's the second level in Conjuration, still keeping an action within 60 feet, and with its concentration, you tear through the fabrics of reality, leaving a scar in a 5-foot cube within range, centered on a point you choose. A creature takes 4d4 slashing damage when it enters the spell's area for the first time or in a turn, or when it starts its turn there. On each subsequent turn, you may use an action to create another tear that fills a 5-foot cube within range, and a creature within that space they begin in and/or move through is occupied by a scar, takes damage, and when cast at a higher level, using a third or fourth spell slot, increase the damage by 2d4 for each level spell slot used above second. Holy hell. So 6th level reality slash fills the... Oh my god, is that Birdie?
Birdie! We mentioned you on the stream last week. There you are! Long time no talk!
Oh crap, it's Birdie.
Birdie!
But to the point of this is scarily powerful because you're filling... You could fill a room with these scars, with these reality slashes, and just murder everything.
Mm-hmm.
Your teammates can just keep pushing people.
Mm-hmm.
We actually did that on blah, blah, blah. When we learned to play Tenaris yesterday. We were like, oh, we have Jin had abilities and Jack DT's character had abilities that let them push people. Or actually, it's move, which is different than push or pull. You can choose any direction. So they just kept pulling these guys into spike pits over and over again. And at one point, they were like, come in the spike pit. Now leave the spike pit. Come in the spike pit.
Oh, Jesus.
Listen, sometimes you gotta put somebody through a revolving Groundhog Day of spike pits.
So, Cloud of Daggers in 2024 got a bunch of updates because it used to be you couldn't move it. Now you can move it. But this is just, you're just making more of them. There's just more of them everywhere.
Hey, you know it would be great if I just had unlimited dagger clouds.
You absolutely could roleplay this as Gilgamesh.
Yes.
This is my Gate of Babylon.
Oh, yes. I could see that.
Oh, that's so good. I didn't even think of that until just now, but yes, that's basically... Or, I mean, it could obviously also be your unlimited blade works, if that's what you want to do.
I think it works better as your Gates of Babylon.
Because they're, like, floating in midair. Yeah, usually unlimited blade works, you gotta, like, pull stuff out of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
We get into Type Moon stuff sometimes.
A little bit. We touch on it. We dabble.
Okay, the next one. This is the one that really sold me on this. Village Rites is not from Strixhaven. This guy's from Kamigawa. I'm pretty sure.
You are correct.
But Lurking Darkness is what really sold me on this because this is precisely what I want DM Bacon to have the ability to do if he just would let his character accept her birthright. Well, technically she has 2 birthrights, and he keeps choosing the other one. Why would you not choose the darkness one, man? Come on. I have so many tricks for you, and you will not take them. But this is Lurking Darkness, so it replaces Darkness. It's 1 action. Pretty much all of these have become concentration in some way. Like you're fueling it through your body, and you gotta think hard about it. But this is Magical Darkness spreads from a point you choose within range to fill a 15-foot radius sphere for the duration. Darkness spreads around corners. Creature with dark vision can't see through it, and non-magical light can't illuminate it. So same as regular. The VenturePress, somebody was like, "Oh, is this supposed to be for Shadow Sorcerer?" because like they can use the ability to see in the dark when they cast this. And he's like, I didn't write it, but that is essentially who I made it for. And I was like, I don't know who, like, what other sorceress bloodline would have gotten it if it wasn't Shadow Sorcerer. But
Yeah,
yes.
it wouldn't make sense elsewhere.
Yeah. So, within your darkness lurks an unfathomable being. When your concentration on this spell ends, each creature still within the darkness has to make a dex save. They take 2d8 piercing damage on a failure and half as much on a success. And then you can up the damage or the range, depending on how much extra you want to add to it when you upcast it. But like this makes so much sense for DM Bacon's character to do, or one of the shadow sorcerers over there to have some avatar of my world's Raven Queen, some piece of her inside their darkness because they are kin.
Yeah.
It could be
this. So,
Jackie
like,
Estacado. I see what you did there.
I mean, when I first read this, I read within your being lurks an unfathomable darkness. And I was like, oh, that's a creepy way to take it.
Oh, you
Like
have
it was coming
a
from
soul
you.
gem implanted in your body somewhere,
yes.
and you let that beast free momentarily.
But you do it
Oh.
in like if you, I know Akami will understand, like Zato does from Guilty Gear with Eddie. You just unleash like this unfathomable ichor out of like your body. It like leaks out. It looks like ink just linked out of your chest, and it just latches at everything around. Oh yes, and then it just crawls back into your chest.
Yep.
Yes.
I really like this one. I also feel like of the group, this one has like some of the lowest damage potential, but it's more this is the good flavor though. Like this is the slurp slurp.
But this is a spell meant to disorient and scare the hell out of everyone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
All right. DM Shin, do you want to take this blue card?
Oh, this blue card, you say? This Mind Barb? Well, Mind Barb, second level divination spell. That's an upgrade for replacing Mind Spike, which is psychic and forgotten. 60-foot range, and it's a concentration for up to an hour, but you reach into the mind of one creature you see within range, and they must make a wisdom saving throw, taking 3d8 psychic damage or half as much on a successful. On a failed save, you always know that target's location. They can't become hidden from you, and if it's invisible, it gains no benefit. In addition, you can see what a target under the effects of the spell. Wait, while you can see a target under the effects of a spell. Okay, I was like, wait a second. My brain completely mixed that wording up. You may issue a one-word command as an action as if you had cast a command spell. Creature repeats its saving throw. On a failure, it must follow the command. On a success, the spell effect ends immediately. That's kind of dope. Like, you just ping this guard, this really dumb guard, and you're just like, open the door. Like, as he's going to work, you like hit him with Mind Barb. Well, no, wait, he's an NPC, so he'll die.
Yeah. I mean, I guess guards usually have like 2d6 or 2d8 health. There's a chance he lives. There's a chance.
No, he's dead. No, he's dead. by the rules of the world, he's dead. We're not sitting up here giving every guard a chance. Yeah, this is potent, but I think that it's it replaces a spell that doesn't really get a lot of usage in the first place.
Mm.
I do like that it kind of adds the hunter's mark effect onto things, like the locate spell, like latched in. But wisdom is kind of a stat that most people leave and most creatures just have on average at like a decent number. So I also would worry about like that being the saving throw. I feel like it should be intelligence because it's a mind spell.
I used to be an adventurer once, but then I took a mind barb. Drops dead.
But like, I do think there should be an intelligence saving, just because it's a mind spike.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I would like that to be, because that's usually a little bit more difficult to survive and like to win for most creatures. That being said, though, it's kind of a cool spell. I like it, and I like the use of Mind's Desire.
That art is so. I love the Strixhaven alt art cards. They're so gorgeous.
Those women are clearly meant to be Bene Gesserit.
Secretly and everything, yes.
Would you put your hands in the box?
Bene Gesserit.
Who's next? Oh, who wants to take? I feel like just based on this picture, that I'm gonna give this one to DM Lacara.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, and it's called Murder of Crows.
Right? I was like, this is for you. This one's for you.
Oh yeah, that is actually a great art. I see what you mean. Replaces Vampiric Touch, 1 action self. You conjure a murderer of ethereal crows that can siphon force from others to heal your wounds. Make a ranged spell attack against a creature within 10 feet. On a hit, the target takes 3d6 necrotic damage, and you regain hit points equal to half the amount of necrotic damage dealt plus your con mod. Until the spell ends, you can make the attack again on each of your turns as an action. And if you upcast, there's more damage, and then also the range increases. I love this spell so much.
I feel like this is one of those ones, like Unending Penis Barrage, that should also make you frightened. Like if someone's just like launching crows out of their being that are literally like tearing your soul apart, I would be terrified. I'm not fighting that guy.
Take your ghost crows and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not messing with you and your crow.
Also, hear me out, DM Shin specifically. Tell me this isn't the most DM speedy spell you've ever heard in your life.
Oh, 10,000%. So edgy, it's so edgy. It's at 90 degrees.
Yeah. No, we're not going to Crow Penis Barrage. No.
No.
I feel like it would do less damage, but there would be so much more of them. So maybe it would do more damage.
Equal damage, more dice.
It's true. Murder of crows.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever hear someone cast murder of penis.
DM Shin, this one's for you because it is clearly druid based. This is Snakeskin. This is for you.
So when you don't want to get yourself all wrapped up and crackly and require absolute bucket loads of aloe vera and lotion, you might want to cast Snakeskin on yourself instead, which replaces Stone Skin as a 4th level abjuration spell. It holds the 1 hour concentration, but it requires a mineralized snake fang, which is interesting. The spell infuses the flesh of a willing creature you touch with the essence of an ancient snake encased in a tomb of stone. Until the spell ends, the target has resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, poison, and slashing damage. In addition, whenever this creature is hit with an attack from a creature within 5 feet of it, that creature takes 2d6 poison damage as a stone snake protrudes from the skin and sinks its fangs into it. So you pretty much get a Arms of Hadar with snakes.
That's not horrifying at all.
You're basically Orochimaru. Like, if you want to role play Orochimaru, this is the spell. I almost feel like this isn't meant to be. I'm trying to think, what baseline sorcerer would turn into a snake? Like, I can't think of a bloodline where this is related.
I can't think of one that it would work in 5e, but I can in Pathfinder. Sorcerers in Pathfinder could go a Naga soul.
Ooh, that makes sense.
Could be related to a Naga. And I think that if you're a druid, I think I would give this to a druid because it's stone skin.
I would give this to a druid for sure.
So if you give this to a Naga druid, I think that would work.
There. Oh, a fossil. Yeah. Okay. Let's go with that, Awaz. The whatever, like you grab like a I'm gonna make words one day. Wow, this is really bad. You like break the tooth off of a fossil and you carry that around. People think that you're casting snakeskin, but all of a sudden it's like a raptor comes out of your arm. You got raptors for arms. What is this? To be fair, the snake is enough to scare most people, but dinosaurs are cool. Okay, can't not do things with dinosaurs. I think there's one left.
Yeah, Okami, why don't you tell us all about the last?
This is Inferno, and it replaces the spell Immolation, which I know it's not meant to be self-immolation, but every time I read Immolation, I just think of self. So when I first read this and I saw Urza's Rage, I was like, I know he had a bad time, but he didn't have to set himself on fire for it.
I hate this shit.
So this is one action, 90 feet. Verbal component only. Concentration up to a minute, as I think all the warp spells are, except Mind Barb. Mind Spike? No, yeah, Mind Barb. Flames wreathe one creature you can see within range. The target must make a dex saving throw. It takes 76 fire damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. On a failed save, the target also burns for the spell's duration. The burning target sheds bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet. At the end of each of its turn. Sorry, I'm just imagining your team going into like a dungeon and they see some creature and they're like, yo, does anyone have a lantern? And your sorcerer is like, no, but I can make one. And they're like, what do you mean? And he's just like, shoof! And someone's just screaming, running through the dungeon now.
Immolated, just running down the hallway. It's like, dude, what did you do? It's like, you said you wanted fire, bro.
I did my job. What do you want from me?
Yeah. That's what you wanted. Be more clear.
Like, is this not what you asked for? It's like, what? But you know, I didn't ask you to light somebody on fire. You did not ask me to light somebody on fire.
At the end of each of its turns, the target repeats the saving throw. It takes 3d6 fire damage on a failed save, and all creatures within its bright light radius take fire damage equal to the spell's level. That's pretty powerful. It's not a lot of damage, but it hurts. The spell ends on a successful save. These flames can't be extinguished through non-magical means. God damn it. Memes. If damage from this spell reduces the target to 0 HP, the target is turned to ash. You may use that ash as a replacement for any consumable spell components. The ash has a value equal to 10 times the creature's CR.
What?
This is way worse than the soul gem.
So you just super immolate.
That's way worse than
And
the
then-
soul gem.
So you immolate everything, and because everything's now lit upon super, now that everything's on fire. That's crazy.
I don't know if I would keep the can just replace any of your consumable. What if I'm burning like a humanoid? It's not like it's a flower or something like you need for one of your spells. The selling people's ashes, I guess, sort of. I'm sure there's weirdos who buy that though.
There's literally just a news story this morning about 2 women selling actual people's bones on the internet, and they were like arrested for it, and they were like, "Wait, what do you mean you can't do that? Like we bought them off people like for years."
I'm always amazed when I hear stories like that, or I'm just like, so it's surprising to you that you couldn't do something that sounds pretty illegal.
Yeah, like, why would you think that would be okay? Have you? My first response would be like, have you ever seen someone sell people's bones? Apparently, these two have, so I would have lost the argument there.
Yes, them.
Yeah. Yeah. We both would have lost that one in record time, actually.
But that was everything in VenturePress's warped spells. I think some of them could use a little bit of tweaking, but I really, just this idea alone, I love. And don't, I would also say don't keep this specifically to sorcerers if you're going to use this kind of thing. Also, like, employ your character's races into it. Like, DM Bacon's a fire genasi, gets fire spells all the time, does weird stuff with them. Then I have a water genasi in my party, but think of like a Goliath who might be a spellcaster. He's going to learn some cold stuff because that's what he's used to. I think this concept as a whole is so cool, and the spells are cool too. But like the concept is mwah, chef's kiss.
Except that never-ending penis barrage.
No, that's a wizard's. That's on the wizard's banned spell list. Thanks. Warlock permissible though.
Nah. I can't think of a warlock I've ever known that would have the gall or the sense of humor to use that spell.
It would be a hell of a spell to bust out against the BBEG. Bust out of raining clouds of BBC or the bits of BBEG is a very, very potent maneuver that I think I would stop the table for. I would stop the table and I'd be like, how do you want this to play out?
How are you envisioning this working?
Yeah, like, all right, let's role play this. Like, you brought us here, we're gonna role play this.
You missed summon ketamine ape.
You did. You
can go ape shit and frenzy.
And he's on, and it requires 500 gold worth of ketamine.
Which is probably
we don't know
a
where
lot.
We're getting the ketamine. I mean, realistically speaking, I don't know how you're even getting ketamine.
In fantasy world, yeah, it's probably pretty hard. That's why we need Alchemists Anonymous. You heard it here first, folks.
I'm almost done with the logo.
Yay! Wait, that wasn't in Florida? I didn't say anything. I just assumed it was Florida.
I think it was. Was it not?
That has to be Floridian.
Yeah, that just screams Florida woman.
Like, I refuse to believe people in other states would do such a thing.
In the mid what? That's crazy. I can't imagine Creepshow Kate. Actually, I can't imagine Creepshow Kate doing any drugs at all. Like, not even once. Oh, no, I get it. She does drink. But yeah, that was all the spells we had to look at today. There was no poll because, as DM Shin said, we're going to be playing Cardna next week. So if you want to join, come on over. You can reply to any of the posts I made about it, or you can come into the Discord and hit us up, or you can send us a DM. I will say, though, if you happen to be on Twitch and you want to send me a DM, I'm probably not going to see it for like 16 weeks because they changed the interface. I hear they're also going to get rid of DMs as a whole. And I'm like, okay, you keep hiding them. It's not like I can see them anyway.
I mean, they're probably trying to. They had enough trouble with it from certain people showing a whole lot of disrespect towards it. So, I think they need to police it carefully.
Yeah, we are going to take a look at Card. There will be a poll after Cardinal. Well, maybe. We'll see. Maybe there'll be a continuation. I don't know yet. I do have the next poll correct. Correct. I can't word. This is real bad. Wording is hard.
Oh, don't worry. English left the stream today.
Aye.
I can't speak either, apparently, because I just stubbed for the first time, and I do not have a natural stutter. So something is wrong.
Yo, that legit happened to me yesterday. It wasn't even late. When we were playing Magic, I just like legitimately forgot how to speak when we were in the middle of our commander pod. And I turned to the group and I was like, and I got so mad at myself that I slammed my fists on the table and I went, that's all, folks!
I had a moment like that. I went to go to the, like I said earlier, I went to the 20th anniversary of episode 3 yesterday, and I went to go we went to the Alamo, which is a really great theater, if you have one in your area, but if you haven't, they do dinner and like you can order food to your seat and stuff like that. It's really nice.
It's cool.
And the waitress came over to me and she was like, "Oh, have you seen the movie before?" And I went to unzip my hoodie to show that I had a Star Wars shirt on, and I went to go say, "Oh yeah, I'm a big fan." I was like, them fan. And she was like, "Okay." and my buddy who was sitting next to me was just like, Are you malfunctioning there, buddy? You sound like R2. I was like, thanks.
Yep.
Thanks. I was like, I think I had a glitch in the Matrix for a second. I don't know what I said, but yeah, I responded with dot. My waitress walked away. She just was just like, I think it's time to go. I got other people to look for.
Oh.
It's fine. It's totally fine. Like, I didn't actually further, but like in the moment, I'm pretty sure she walked back and just like, don't go over there. You guys are afraid.
They're talking funny.
I think they've been hanging out with the ketamine.
Oh no.
But as always, if you don't want us to summon a ketamine ape,
or send you to the demi-plane of sludge.
Oh yeah,
demi-plane of sludge.
Like, comment, subscribe. There's free options for the Patreon. You can just like and comment for free on YouTube. Share this with your friends. Let everybody know where you're at between the hours of 8 and 10 something on Monday night. And we'll see you where, Okami, this week.
this week, I'll be streaming more Horizon Forbidden West tomorrow night at 8. Same Okami time, same Okami channel, plural. Um, I'll be there probably for like another 6 hours. We'll see how angry I am and how glitched the game is because last week, man, it was like 2 in the morning and I was like, I want to go to sleep, but I have to finish this mission so it'll save. And the mission glitched. And I was like, I'm not sitting here figuring this out. I'm leaving. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. But
I'm gonna be hoping for you.
thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Awaz. Look at you. You've joined in on that. Thank you.
AWAS has dropped the sacred link to the Redbubble shop, where you can find so much cool curated merch, as placed and posted by our one and only Celestial Sky One DM Lacara. And as always, if you need to reach DM Lacara, DM Okami and I are the only gateway.
We're like the bouncers.
Yeah, if you need to request audience with DM Lacara, you don't. You inform us what you need to inform her of, and we determine whether or not she needs to hear it, and then provide her with it via musical minstrel.
What about Ethereal Crow?
Ooh, yes, Ethereal Crow. Yes, 100%.
We do send we absolutely send Ethereal Crow. Good old Ethereal Crow.
I did get to play. I said this at the beginning. I did get to play Tenera's Adventures for the first time yesterday. And now that we sort of know how to play, I feel like at some point there may be videos of that up on the channel. Again, the issue for me is going to be manning the camera and playing the game at the same time. So maybe I'll just sit off to the side and narrate poorly while the game is going on, so I can man the cameras. But it's very D&D-ish, and very, if you enjoyed playing 4E, you will have no trouble learning the rules
4E.
to Arena.
4E, wow. You summoned something very.
I'll see how the community takes that. It is actually a board game, though, so it makes sense, because 4E was very board gamey.
Yeah, 4E.
And I will say here, because it is pretty D&D related, that the next thing I'm going to unbox is finally Kinfire Chronicles Night's Fall, which is the Kinfire Chronicles board game. And I'm going to use all that stuff for D&D. Everything.
And hopefully you're not going to buy more minis anytime, right?
Well,
I will hit you. I will actually hit you.
This one wasn't all my fault. My players were
Get
like,
ready to hit 'em.
you need to, you should grab the whatever, the remake thing. Sorry. Blacklist Games made Fantasy Series 1 and 2. We unboxed, like my D&D group unboxed Fantasy Series 1 as a group way back in the day. So I told them, I've been telling them exactly what's happening with Wildspire for the past like 2 months since Blacklist Games went defunct and what has happened. But obviously none of them actually read the chat or internalize any of the information that I give them unless I am speaking directly into their ear holes. So I explained the situation to them again, and they were like, oh no, you have to get it because we were supposed to have it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't mind this one because technically I was supposed to have it. You are correct. But I don't need anything else. I have so much. There's so much stuff. There's so much stuff. I also, as a group, you guys will appreciate this. So Jack DT, we used the terrain from Tenera's to both play D&D, and then we played 40K Combat Patrol with the terrain from Tenera's. And when we were putting, he actually did help me put stuff away. I can't be mean to him today. He did for sure help me put stuff away because he's trying to figure out how the boxes work. so that he could get them himself. But he was like, how much did all of this cost you? And I was like, it costs you money too, dude. Like, you went in on this. And he was like, what? And I was like, all of us paid for this. You were there.
Oops.
He's like, oh,
Would you look at that?
But yeah, enjoy all of your games that you play. Stay safe, have fun during the rest of the week. Remember, if you want to play Cardno with us next week, drop a line to one of us before Wednesday at 3 p.m. Please and thank you. And hopefully we'll have some more folks. Maybe we'll even have some other DMs that might not have guest starred, but have probably participated in stream chats at some point. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I don't know.
well, we'll find out.
I am so excited for this.
Me too, me too. So,
Well, we will
wait,
have to
oh.
discuss,
I got my Nightbot commands correct. Boom. Bam. Bye. What were you going to say, DM Shin?
I was gonna say we do have to discuss then what day we want to do our session 0.
Yeah.
It's the fear. I think, right before I kill both the stream chats, that one of these streams, like on a show and tell episode, I just want Jack DT to show off his paint skills, because he paints minis. He just started learning to paint minis, maybe like, I don't know, less than a year ago. And I played with his painted minis yesterday and didn't realize that, like, he did it. He is getting so unbelievably good at, like, building bases with, like, texture and, like, little bits of flocking and sand that I thought it was, like, a thing you bought. And then I was like, wait a minute. If you look in the Tabletop Schmabletop channel, there's a picture of, I covered his last Infernus Marine in Termagants. He painted all those Termagants. He painted that Space Marine. I don't know if you can tell. He painted the buttons on the display pad of his Infernus Marine.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy.
And he's like, oh, it's just some simple trick that you do with a paper towel and you, like, rub the paint over it. And I was like, it's not a simple trick, my guy. I could not do that. And it is perfect.
You're like, I lack the dexterity and the ability to do such a thing. Let's not undermine what the hell is going on.
So at some point, I would love
crazy.
to show off his stuff, even though he hasn't DM'd anything. But he does. He would like to come up with a Type Moon type game. So he's working on that. I won't tell James or Grim. Then there's going to be issues. So don't worry about that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from him. Bye, Twitch.
Plain and simple. Just don't want to hear.
Bye, YouTube. I'm hitting the button, and then I'm going to wait for Nightbot because he's real slow on YouTube for no reason. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Thank you.